How do we enjoy newness and variety without destroying our stability and responsibility? This is the life lesson we'll learn from the fifth star of Vedic astrology, Punarvasu, the eternal rebirther. In this series, Life Lessons of the Vedic Nakshatra, we'll discover how life really works by exploring the 27 constellations through the mystical Sanskrit words of the Vedic Nakshatra Sutra. Hello everybody. So as you know, I'm working periodically on releasing my translation of Taittiriya Brahmana's Nakshatra Sutra, 27 key symbolic statements that reveal the fundamental depths of each of the stars of Vedic astrology. So each week on YouTube, I've been doing a video explaining some crucial life lesson that each nakshatra teaches all of us. So this week, let's discuss the lessons that we learned from the fifth of the 27 Vedic stars, Punarvasu, the eternal rebirther. And as always, we'll start by listening to the original Sanskrit of the actual sutra itself. Adityaye Punarvasu Pataha Parasta Ardram Avasta. Adityaye Punarvasu Pataha Parasta Ardram Avasta. So the Sanskrit here is Adityai Punarvasu Vataha Prastat Ardramavastat. And the basic translation there is the eternal re-existence, or the eternal rebirther, needs the dried out to make moist again. So to explain this, basically, the basic nature of Punarvasu is that it's a symbol of cyclicity. The very word Punarvasu means to exist, Vasu, again, Punar, to become again, re-becoming, re-existing, rebirthing. And the goddess of this nakshatra is Aditi. And that if you know about Aditi, that's fantastic. You'll know a lot about her nakshatra just by knowing about her. But even if you don't know anything about Aditi, if you just look at the word Aditi, Aditi means undivided. Undivided means it doesn't have any parts. It's not countable. It's whole. It's circular. It's eternal. So the concept of this nakshatra is this circular re-existence, a cyclical re-existence, an eternal coming in and out of being. Really, it's about all sorts of cycles and everything, but the most fundamental cycle is the cycle of coming in and out of being, birth and death. So that's why the words used in this sutra are Vata and Ardra. So the cycle really is about Vata. Vata means things which are very dried out, dried up, used up, old things, dead things. And then Ardra, Ardramavastat, Ardra means things that are wet, just the opposite, moist, fresh, new, alive. So the cycle, the eternal cycle, at the basis of Punarvasu nakshatra, the star of the eternal re-existence, is the cycle of things becoming dried out and old and then being made fresh and new again. So the life lesson that I want to highlight, that Punarvasu really accentuates, is all about the problem of newness and variety versus stability and reliability, or responsibility versus adventure. So the real question is, everybody wants to enjoy newness and freshness. So how do you deal with things that are dried out and boring and old? Right? How do you deal with boredom when your whole life is about a quest for excitement? Punarvasu wants things to always be getting juicier, always be getting fresher. So it's going to have a tendency to perceive things as currently being not juicy enough. The parastat of this nakshatra is Vata. It actually needs to find dryness so that it can moisten the dryness. But if that doesn't function very well, if it malfunctions, due to being aligned with an incompatible planet, or not really being well aligned with the rest of the nakshatras that are active in a chart, or just being one of the lessons that everybody needs to learn in life. If it just doesn't function well, then what happens is you just see things as dry, even though they're not. You unnecessarily see things as dry. So the problem is that our hunt for juicy, fresh newness is going to have a tendency to destroy our life by making the things that we already have seem dried out and old, right? So what's the solution? The solution is really in the word Punarvasu itself, which really means, it doesn't mean becoming something else. It means becoming again. It means re-becoming, reinvention, reignition. The word Vasu actually has a connotation of light. So even the word reignition is a nice translation of this phrase, Punarvasu, reigniting something. You know, the nakshatra is really all about improving on an existing thing. And if you see it that way, then Punarvasu is going to work for you in a very healthy way. That drive, the Punarvasu drive to make things exciting and new and fresh, will work for you in a really great way. If you see it as, let's take this thing that we already have and improve on it. Let's find the dry spots in it and moisten them. But if you see it as, this thing is dry and old, I need to throw it out and get something new, yes, then it's going to ruin your life. So you see, you could be like a dog chasing its tail, looking for the newness and the happiness. Or, Punarvasu, if it functions properly, instead of making you a dog chasing your tail, it can put you on a spiral staircase going up to the heavens. If you remember, the spiral will be centered on improving one thing. So that's the solution. Don't miss the life lessons from the other 26 star clusters of Vedic astrology. Subscribe to my channel now. And keep your ears up for announcements about the release of this book and the next online classes about it. Thanks.